here we go, guys. I'm going to start editing with this. All right. So first thing I want to do is I want to separate Jack Black's face from the white background. See, right now it's one photo. Okay. So before I do that even, I'm going to double click this and rename it. Call it Jack Black. All right. So that's going to become not the background. And the first step I'll try here is create a layer. So this little piece of paper down here in the bottom right corner with the folded corner creates a layer. And you can see here, it looks like a little checkerboard design. That means it's transparent. You can see through it completely. And I'm going to name that background. And the thing is, the way I've set it up here is it's above Jack Black. I want to put it behind him, right? So I'll do that in a moment. But first, I don't want it to be transparent. I want to choose a color. And so if you go over now to the bottom left of your screen, the tools, this is your color palette right here. And right now, it just leaves off the colors that I was using last. So I was last using yellow right here and white. And I can click D to put it to default, which is black is a foreground color, it's called, and white is a background. And this is like a little palette, little tray of paint, you could say. And if I click on it, click on the black, I can change the color to whatever I want. This slider next to the big sample screen here is the different hues, right? The basic colors, so red, magenta, blue, green, yellow, red, back to oranges and so on, okay? And I'm gonna go with maybe kind of this blue zone here, but then I can take this little color picker, this little dot, and choose a more specific value, like a light value, right? A dark value, a more intense value, more medium gray right here. And I'm gonna make my background kind of grayish teal right there. All right, so that's the color that I have chosen to load up. And make sure you click OK if you want to land it there. Okay, so see down here in my palette, I have that blue teal color. Now I'm all going to set up the color. Next to do is double check that I have my empty background layer selected. I'm going to go up to Edit and fill that layer. Okay, I'll click that, and it will now, if I hit OK, it'll fill it with what it calls the foreground color. Right? And the foreground color is the one that's on top, the one that's selected right here on the color palette. I could also tell it, no, I want to do the background color, which would be white, right? Or just background right there. And I can go custom and then choose it from within this dialog. All right. So I just pre-made the color and then I want to fill the foreground color. Okay. So hit OK. And see, I have a background layer that's on top filled with blue. And now I can put it back behind Jack. All right, so make sure you fill the layer with the color and put it below the photo. Now we can't see the blue because we got a fully opaque Jack Black layer right here. See 100% opacity. If I change it to less of, you can start seeing the blue, and when it's completely transparent, you can see the layer below, right? If I wanted to blend it, I could, and it could be kind of interesting. Multiply the two layers, right? So there's some fun stuff just with that, right? But that's not our goal, right? Oh, that looks cool. I like that. But what I want to do next is separate Jack Black in this photo from the background. And so I'm going to choose a selection tool, and these can be fussy, so it takes a lot of practice, and that's why we're doing this whole 6 edits grid is the practice tools. So I'm going to choose quick selection right there, And I want to make my brush bigger. And by the way, let me say right now, you can use this slider to change the brush, but sometimes as you're working, you need to change it really quickly, like bigger, smaller. And so on your keyboard, there's a couple keys called brackets. The brackets are right above the return button. They look like parentheses, but a little more squared off. All right, so I'm going to use that to change the size of my brush. I'm going to click over here for a moment and click the bracket, and you can see the tool getting bigger. Okay, so I got quick selection selected. Notice quick selection is the brush with the dotted line. All right, and in a little bit later, we're going to be using the brush right here without the dotted line. That's an actual paintbrush. All right, now here's the selection. I'm going to click on it, see what I get, and it basically selected everything. Right? I can see if I zoom in, Control or Command plus. Oh, good. It actually did a much better job than I thought. You see this tiny dotted line right here around the edges? That's exactly what I wanted it to do. It just went all the way to the edge of the picture here. So what I can do now is I want to refine this or reselect or unselect certain areas of this. So up here on the mode, in the options bar, I can click minus right there, and I'm going to push back the selection a little bit right there. Push it back, and you see how the dots moved? I want to make my brush smaller, so it'll do it a little more refined. So see, it's still on minus at the top. The other way to go back and forth between adding and subtracting from your selection is to push the option key as you click. See up here? I'm pushing the button, go plus, minus, plus, minus. Okay? So I want it to be on plus, and I'm going to push that back out again. All right, and try to get a fairly accurate selection. There we go. It's not, I want some of his hair over here, so I got to push back. I'm going to hold down option so it's on plus. There we go. And now I'm a little too close. I can't see the whole picture, so I'm going to zoom back out a little. And I think that's good. That's what I think. All right. So I've selected Jack Black. However, what I actually want to do is select everything but Jack Black. All right. And so here, I'm going to fix this over here a little bit. I can't let it sit. So I'm going to hold down option. I got the plus. I'll just click on there. I'm going to push this out a little bit, get more beard and hair over here. So hair edges with backgrounds are really difficult to select in general. I'm going to do it right there. Okay. I hope that's it. Now I have him selected, but what I really want to select is the white of the background only. So what I do is I go to select at the top menu and click inverse. And so now what I have selected, if you can look closely, zoom in, hold down the space bar so I get the hand and I can move the whole document over. See the dotted line around the edge of him? And then it goes around the edge this way. Okay, let's zoom back out. And what I could do from there is have those areas, the white area selected. Now I'm just going to click delete on the keyboard, to hit delete on the keyboard. And now I got the background. All right, and so you can see how where hair is and background, it's really kind of tricky to select all the tiny details, and you could zoom in if you wanted and really fine tune it with your brush. There's also this function called refine edge, which we'll try another time to refine the edge, but today it's okay to have a slightly sloppy selection. No problem. All right, now after we delete, you can see the dotted line is still there because we still have the selection tool active. So what I want to do is deselect. You can go up to select and go deselect at the top, or you can go Command or Control D. I'm going to do that. Command D, and click here, and Command D. So now it's unselected. All right, so we have Jack Black with the background cut out and a blue background. Next, we're going to turn him more black and white, right? And the most popular tool to do this with is the threshold adjustment. And I'm just going to go with that. All right, so click on an adjustment layer and take a moment there and go to threshold. All right, now look at it's making the adjustment on all the layers below it, including the blue one, right? So I can, well, I'm going to leave it there for a moment. You guys might remember, how do you make it so it only affects the one below? It's a clipping mask, but I'm not going to do it yet. I'm just going to play with this. As I make it, the threshold means like turning it pure black and white, but how much more white or more black, right? So find the black and white threshold that you like best. And I'm thinking of it in terms of, I want it to be kind of like a coloring page, making a black line with white space color page. Okay, so it made the blue area here white, and it made his skin tone white, and all the hair black, right about there. Now I'm gonna just limit that adjustment to the picture of Jack Black and not the background by clipping it to it. So there we go, got that. Groovy, huh? Okay, next step is to paint on it. Let's go play with the paintbrush and some more colors. We're going to do kind of an Andy Warhol style pop art painting of this celebrity, right? So I'm going to first put a layer. I don't want to paint directly on the photo. I want to paint in layers, because then I can move layers. I can turn them on and off. I can remove them and delete it. And I can also not destruct the original photo, right? When we cut right here, when we cut Jack Black's white background out, we actually like cut the pixels from that photo. It's called destructive editing. When we make an edit here on top of it and not on the photo, it's called non-destructive. We're not actually messing up the photo. We're keeping the pixels of the photo there. All right. So this whole edit is partly destructive, but I'm trying to make more of it non-destructive. All right. So let's go get a color. I'm gonna paint his eyes first. All right. So I'm gonna label this layer eyes, and I want to go choose another color, and let's go with I could choose one of these swatches on here. At least get a start right there. Go purple eyes, maybe. Make it really light for now. Okay, and hit OK. So I got that loaded up in the palette. I'm going to click on the paintbrush now. And remember that you have the brackets to change the size of the brush. So you can go here and change the size and hardness of the brush. I'm going to make it a bit harder. And how big is it? A little smaller. And last time I used the brush, I put it down to 50% opacity. I'm going to put it 100%. So you can see what it looks like when you paint it 100%. Okay, and as I get here, I want to zoom in so that I have a bigger space to paint on. So I gotta, excuse me a moment, there we go. I'll just enlarging the whole screen, not just the photo, okay? Hold down the space bar when you want to hand and move things where you can see it better, okay? And now back to the brush. Got my purple loaded in there. Here goes. I'm gonna paint. I'm gonna estimate where his eyes actually eyeball part is. And if I go over the lines a little bit, it's no big deal. This is just practice. In fact, I'm gonna go over lines a little bit on purpose, okay? To show you guys this, I can change the opacity, but watch, it doesn't really affect it now because I already painted that. So if I want to change opacity afterwards, I got to go over here. So the whole layer I can change to less opaque, make it more transparent if I want to do that. Okay, and Let me try this. I'm going to go with this tool, the eraser. If I really want to change it, that's really too big. So I'm going to make it smaller with my brackets, way smaller. And erase that purple. A little bit right there. Okay. So here I am contradicting myself. I said, don't worry about painting on the edges, but then I'm telling you how to fix it if you wanted to. All right. It's really okay. This is just skill building practice, right? So there we go. Now we can zoom out, Command or Control minus. Purple eyes, a groovy man. What color hair does he need? Or whatever else. Now I can get real loose with it too. And let me try this. I'm going to do call this the hair. And choose a brush. We'll get a new color. I want to make it kind of more brown. I'm going to go more towards orange in the hues, but then click here. Yeah, about there. All right, brown, but I'm going to change my brush. And on this one, go with a something kind of fluffy. Right there. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, it's a small brush. I gotta make it way bigger, I think. I got a textured edge. All right, I'm gonna do a little more here. Probably could have gone a little bigger, but I'm gonna make kind of a messy paint job. Brush, there it is. Very pop art, Warhol-esque. All right, leave that, but then let's try a blend mode on that, see what it does. Not much. Not much, but now what if I did over here instead? Okay, change a little bit. How? That's kind of interesting. See, so it's starting to do a blend mode with everything below it. That doesn't work too much. That's kind of neat. All right. So you can try blend modes with each paint layer, see what you get. And it gets kind of abstract. Oh, again, ooh, that looks cool. I like that. It just sounded like one of the South Park characters. Ooh, that's cool. Cool. All right. All right. So there's a little bit there. And you would continue on, ladies and gentlemen. Try paint on the face. If you want to put some text, I'm going to put text. All caps. Jack. And I want to make it bigger. Right. I want to move it now. Now that's kind of fun. Doesn't fit perfectly there. Let's go. No. Yeah, I guess I'm going to stay like that. Okay. Now, I would continue, go paint more, but let me show you guys a major next step. So we worked on this photo separate from our grid here. I want to move it over here. All right, so here's how I'm going to do that. Click on Jack again. All right, make sure you get that photo open, this whole edit. And I'm going to now select all the layers together. All right, link them, and then put them in a folder. All right, so they're inside there. See, all the layers are now in a folder. And I'm going to call this edit 5 Jack opens it up. Now watch this. This is fun for me, and I hope for you. You can take all those layers together in the folder and put them over here in this document. So know where your tab is that you're going to. And click and hold, drag them, and then when that turns blue, that means it's going to drop it right there. And it drops a whole copy of it. So there it is now, edit number 5 on this document, and it's still over here. So it's made a whole copy of everything onto a new document. Easy breezy, right? Take that, and while it's still selected, when you first put something on, you can move it where you want. And I want to resize it. Okay, so I can take that and go transform tools, hold down shift, and make it the size of the other boxes. Now, if I was being really picky about it, I could make a rectangle. Remember how we did that and make the whole thing fit inside? But this will do for now. All right, and I'm gonna put this one back on, this one, and move this one again. So you guys want to have at least 3 edits in this document by the end of today. This is showing 5 because I have too many examples. And again, the videos of everything I've been showing you guys are on our website, Photopea Tutorials. Have fun.